So a day after Howie Roseman made 3 trades yesterday, the Eagles made more roster moves today ahead of roster cutdown day, which is tomorrow, Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. That's when all 32 teams across the NFL have to cut their rosters from 90 players all the way down to 53. Don't forget to show love and subscribe to the channel. It keeps the content free. It keeps the channel growing. And I'm out here in Costa Rica still bringing you the goods. Had a great day today. Currently looking at the ocean. Airbnb setup is pretty awesome. Rappelled down a waterfall, went hiking, did some zip lining, did some horseback riding. It was a day, but it is time to talk some Philadelphia Eagles football. And let me begin with this, just setting the foundation for everything that we're going to talk about today, tomorrow, and looking ahead to the 2025 season. Just a simple roster overview for the Birds. 10 of 11 starters from the team that won the Super Bowl last year return here in 2025. The exception, Mekhi Becton at right guard. Tyler Steen will fulfill his role there. Everybody else on the offensive side of the rock as far as starters go is going to be on this roster, on this team and starting going into week 1, Thursday, September 4th, quickly coming at us against the Dallas Cowboys at Lincoln Financial Field. And so on offense, what Howie Roseman has done, address depth. Bringing in Sam Howell, bringing in Fred Johnson, both of those players by way of trades, and their 2 moves at very important positions. Backup quarterback, third-string quarterback, kind of a hybrid right now for Sam Howell because Tanner McKee has that finger injury, and backup swing tackle in the case of Fred Johnson. On defense, though, you have to replace more than 4,000 snaps lost from last year. You do have one of the cheapest defenses in the NFL, one of the youngest defenses in the NFL. It's great that you have continuity on the coaching staff with Vic Fangio and all of his assistants. Can't say the same on offense with Kevin Patullo stepping in for Kellen Moore. But on defense, the point here, a lot of moving parts. Which now brings me to this. These following 14 players have been let go by the Eagles today. Quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson. We knew that this was coming. He was beat out by Kyle McCord, and Kyle McCord couldn't even crack the 53-man roster. For DTR, liked him at UCLA, liked him coming into the NFL draft as kind of a late-round guy. Unfortunately for him, he went to Cleveland. That's where quarterbacks go to die. And I just thought with Philadelphia in the preseason, he didn't wow me. I didn't see the running ability, the athleticism. He was telegraphing some of his passes. He couldn't really put touch behind his throws. He was just zipping balls in there. And I'm not sure if he suffered from a lack of confidence or he simply isn't that good. But in the final preseason game, Kyle McCord got every single snap. And speaking of Kyle McCord, he got let go too. And we'll see if the Eagles are able to bring him back to the practice squad. Now, of note, if another team tries to sign one of these players through waivers, right, they have to sign that player to their active roster. And so the Eagles are cutting Kyle McCord, but they're hoping they can bring him back to the practice squad to continue to develop him. And I think he has NFL size. I think he has an NFL arm. I thought he did some nice things throughout the preseason. But in that final preseason game, Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni, this Eagles organization clearly did not see enough from Kyle McCord to say, if Tanner McKee is hurt week 1, he can be the backup quarterback. He can't. And that's why the Eagles traded for Sam Howell. And once they did that, we also kind of knew that Kyle McCord's roster spot was in jeopardy. But that is a player I'm hoping the Eagles can bring back to the practice squad. They obviously devote a lot of resources to developing the quarterback position. Safety Lewis Cine, waived/injured. Had that interception in the preseason finale. Throughout all of training camp, when you're talking about the Eagles' 90-man roster, he may have been 90th. Didn't make a play all throughout training camp or in the preseason. Funny enough, had that interception in that preseason finale, former first-round pick out of Georgia by the Minnesota Vikings. Then he got hurt, could barely walk coming out of the blue tent, and so the Eagles letting him go as well. Offensive guard Kenyon Green is getting let go. This means that the Eagles got nothing back for C.J. Gardner-Johnson, one of the best safeties in the NFL. I've always hated that trade. I hate it even more now that the one player who they got back in Kenyon Green, you're hoping former first-round pick, top 15 overall player in that draft coming out of college, Jeff Stoutland can really develop him. No, he stinks. and he's been let go, and you have nothing to show for trading away C.J. Gardner-Johnson, a move that never needed to be made right now. Eagles have $29 million in cap space. Tight end E.J. Jenkins also cut today. Probably means that Kylen Granson is going to be the tight end 3 behind Dallas Goedert and Grant Calcaterra. Of note, last year, with the initial Eagles 53-man roster, they kept 2 tight ends, Goedert, Calcaterra. We'll see if Granson can make it, just narrowly beat out E.J. Jenkins. Tight end Nick Muse also let go. Running back Keelan Robinson, 5th-round pick from the 2024 draft by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Went to Alabama, went to Texas. You see the speed at the running back spot. I think he has return ability, but the Eagles are deep enough at returner and at running back. Running back Montrell Johnson. Eagles probably hoping he can come back to the practice squad. I saw some people in the comment section after the preseason game against the Jets on Friday night saying, keep Montrell Johnson. He's better than A.J. Dillon. I highly disagree. A.J. Dillon is better than Montrell Johnson. I would say that A.J. Dillon is not a guarantee to come back or to at least make it to the 53-man roster. I've talked about this a lot. People have called me crazy, but we might see these roster gymnastics, roster Tetris, where the Eagles open up a roster spot on the 53 to keep another player. They let go of A.J. Dillon, then they bring him back to the practice squad, then they elevate him to the active roster for game day. Pretty much like he's on the 53, but he doesn't occupy a spot on the 53-man roster. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I really like what I saw from Montrell Johnson throughout the preseason. He can run hard, and he's physical. There is a surplus of running backs everywhere, but I think the Eagles really like him too, with the physicality and the punch that he adds at that running back spot. Cornerback Eli Ricks. There was a numbers game at corner, and Eli Ricks wasn't a part of that numbers game. And frankly, he didn't play well in the preseason. I mean, his most infamous moment as an Eagle was when he visited the White House and he complimented the looks of Donald Trump's daughter. And I like Eli Ricks. I like the length that he has. I like the ball skills that he has. He had that pick 6 as a rookie, highly touted player coming out of high school. In that preseason opener, there was some good, there was some bad. After that, didn't really make a play in the second preseason game. Then I thought he played poorly, coverage-wise, missing tackles in that final preseason game. And at corner, we still don't know who cornerback 2 is going to be. If it was my vote, it'd be Jacorian Bennett. I think he's the best option and the best player there. But you have Jacorian Bennett, Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson, of course, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean going to make the team. Do you hold on to 6 corners? Do you hold on to 7? Mac McWilliams has to make the team as well. And so Eli Ricks is on the outside looking in on my initial 53. And my final one, I didn't have him making the team. Running back Shunderick Powell. I like the kid. I think he has some wiggle. I think he has some lateral quickness. He obviously has straight line speed. That touchdown that he had in the first preseason game where he made a man miss with the jump cut, that was an impressive play. I thought what the Eagles did here was very interesting. He had that play and played in the first preseason game early. Then you didn't really see him again. I thought the Eagles tried to hide him and not give him reps because they did not want another team to poach him because the Eagles knew they were probably going to let him go and they want to bring him back to the practice squad. Safety Maxon Hook, wide receiver Terrace Marshall, wide receiver Elijah Cooks, safety Andre Sam, cornerback A.J. Woods, and edge rusher O'Shawn Mathis also let go. Of that grouping, Marshall had a good spring, never translated to having a consistent great summer. He catches with his body too much. Elijah Cooks was awesome to start training camp. He was making a highlight play every day. He got hurt that first preseason game. That was the emergence of Darius Cooper. Then you traded for John Mechie, both better options than Elijah Cooks. I thought Andre Sam played well in the preseason. Has some physicality at that safety position, not afraid to come up to the line of scrimmage and mix things up. I'd like to see the Eagles continue to develop him on the practice squad because at moments I thought that he was better than Tristan McCullum, and I think McCullum ends up making the team. As for A.J. Woods, O'Shawn Mathis, you kind of knew that was coming. What happens with Perry Nickerson? Do the Eagles find a way to bring in the oldest defensive player on their roster to the 53? I would say no, but he can play inside, outside, and was very good in the preseason and throughout training camp. More to get to here on the show, so stay tuned. Continue to hang out here with me. It's like you're in Costa Rica with me. Why would you go anywhere else? But first, Eagles Now, sponsored by our friends at PrizePicks, the best daily fantasy sports app in the game. Right now, you get $50 when you play your first $5 lineup at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that link. And again, you get $50 when you play your first $5 lineup. Claim that $50 right now. You pick 2 to 6 players. You choose more or less on their stat projections for a game, for a season. And you can win some big-time money, up to 2,000 times your cash. Sign up today. Don't miss this deal. I'm going to put all of that information down below in the show notes of today's Philadelphia Eagles Now. So we talked about the 14 players who were out for Philadelphia. The players, obviously, who they brought in with those 3 trades on Sunday. Quarterback Sam Howell could be QB2 week 1. I like this move. He started a lot of games, and he threw for nearly 4,000 yards a couple of years ago with Washington. I also liked him at North Carolina. I saw some people in the chat saying way back in the day during a bowl game, he cooked the Temple University Owls. Sam Howell at UNC was a baller, and he did some good things with Washington, but he's played for Seattle, Minnesota, now Philadelphia, all within the span of not that long of a period of time. But he's played a lot, he's started a lot, and he's played more than Tanner McKee. He's not better than Tanner McKee, but if McKee is not ready for the start of the year because of that broken finger, you have to feel good about Sam Howell, much better than what we would have felt about Kyle McCord having to get into some regular season action. As for Fred Johnson, the Eagles went 5-1 in the games that he started last year. He shut down Trey Hendrickson, who just got a pay raise for 1 year from the Cincinnati Bengals. He is a very good backup swing tackle, and he knows the system well. And then outgoing Dorian Kennard. Former Eagles who have been let go by other teams who Philadelphia could entertain bringing back. KJ Henry let go by the Browns, Kayvon Wallace, Giants, Zach Pascal, Giants, Mario Goodrich, Jets, Tyrese Robinson, Steelers, Lou Nichols, Steelers, and Cameron Johnston, the punter, Steelers. Punters are people too. The players on that list, or player that I would be most interested in, Zach Pascal. You know, Nick Sirianni really likes him. He coached him when he was in Indy. He started for this team in 2022 when they went to the Super Bowl. And he's a really good run blocker. You lost Johnny Wilson, who was a good run blocker. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Eagles try to sign him to the practice squad and then they elevate him to the active game day roster. Mario Goodrich, he was let go by the Jets, as I mentioned, cut by the Broncos earlier in the preseason. Maybe that's my second favorite player on that list. All right, thanks for hanging out with me here on Philadelphia Eagles Now. Tomorrow, Tuesday, August 26th, 53-man roster cutdown day. I will break down the initial Eagles 2025 53-man roster. Be on the lookout for that. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why you also hit that bell icon, turn on your notifications. Therefore, anytime I push out a show, you, the real one that you are, will be notified.